black, close up to a back. Stories, memory lane, comes apart. Turn my to red, and on against my chest, running on my wall. It's my will.
What is up, all you motivators and inspirers? Welcome back to another episode of the Trigger Series. I can remember way back before I started Motivist, I was sitting in the garage with my buddy's dad, and he was asking me what I wanted to do after I graduated high school, what college, and what my career path would be. And what I told him was, I'm not really focusing on college, I'm focusing on this brand I want to create. I want to back the brand by motivation, I want to call it Motivist. And he looked at me like I was crazy, not because I have a dream and a goal I want to chase, but because I hadn't done anything about it. Because I was scared of failing. So he said, if you want to get over that fear, you're going to have to start, and you're going to have to learn why you're going through it. So I started, and I believe failing ties perfectly into starting, because failing can stop you from starting. And somebody who has a lot to say on this topic is my buddy Dalton Steed. He's a personal trainer training out of Champions Fitness. He's going to be my special guest today. So this is Dalton Steed. Dalton, what is your view on failure? How do you feel about failure?
I feel like failure, we're not afraid to fail, but we are afraid to be successful. And in anything in life, you're gonna fail. Like anything you do in life, you are going to fail. So if you expect to do anything perfect, then I suggest you don't try it at all. You have to be willing to fail to succeed. So one of the best examples I can think of is I asked someone the other day how many rings Jordan had and how many times he had a chance to win the rings he had, and they said 6. He got 6 rings, and then I said, you know how many he lost before he got the 6 rings? He said he lost twice in the playoffs. He lost twice. So he failed once and he failed again. Most people would have gave up the first time and said, you know what, this team's too good, I'm not gonna beat them, I can't do it, and then would have went home and said, you know what, that's all right, I just won't win a ring. But what Jordan did, he went back and worked harder and harder and harder and harder, and each year he got better, and he won 6 rings. He took over the league. He wasn't afraid to fail. He was willing to take the risk to be successful. So what I realized is you have to love the process. You have to be willing to fail to succeed, because a failure now doesn't mean a failure later. A failure now is going to be a success later. Failure precedes your success. It gives you the tools, whether it be stronger, whether it makes you wiser, or whether it makes you better. You can fail at a lot in life. You can fail at relationships, work, and your goals, and it's going to be soul-wrenching and it's going to hurt. But you have to be willing to fail and learn from the pain to grow in anything you do in life. Love the process. You got to love the failure. Don't just worry about where you're going. Worry about where you're at and see where you're going in the process of it.
Yeah, you know, Dalton and I were just having a conversation today in the car after going through all these problems to get this video up. The camera died and the tripod wasn't working, and all these things that could have stopped us from actually having this video. And we were talking, and I was telling him how that I don't even think about failure anymore. Once you start and you actually make that leap of faith into your dreams and all you want, you don't really think about failure anymore. You know you can lose. You know something can happen that can really slow you down and stop you, but you don't really think about failing because it's almost that you live it. Like I live Motivist. I would rather die than not do Motivist. So if something happens that slows me down, then I know I had to learn something from it. There's something from that failure that's gonna make me better. And I'm seeing little things that I did fail out in the beginning, and now I can do so much better. And another conversation I had is people got it so messed up when you think about succeeding. People think the success rate is so low that only like 5% of people actually succeed at what they want to do in life. But what I truly believe is you got a 50-50 chance, just like any choice in life. There's always a yes or no way. So you can either succeed or fail. It just depends on how much work you are willing to put into it. So if you're willing to put 100%, you got a 100% chance to succeed. Whether if you're willing to die for it, you're gonna succeed. Because no matter what, you're never gonna stop. You're never gonna stop chasing after that dream. So there's no way possible you could fail at what you want. And you have to realize that and quit being scared of failing, because failing can really stop you from achieving what you want in life. Last week we talked about starting and I gave you that whole video on it, and failing can really stop you from starting. That's one of the biggest hurdles you have to get over, is not being afraid to fail. You know, a lot of people say, just like Dalton said, failure precedes success, because you have to have failure to succeed. You can't just jump out the gate and know exactly what you're gonna do and how to do it. You got to fail. You have got to lose so you can learn what you have to do better. Just like in football, when they lose a game, they find their weaknesses, they figure out what they did wrong, and they go back, watch the tape, and do better next time. So next time they face that team, they beat them. They know exactly how to throw out their weaknesses and be stronger than that team. And that's really, really what you have to do. So Dalton, if you have one tip on how to overcome the fear of failure, what would it be?
My one tip to overcome the fear of failure is look in the mirror. People are so worried about what he's doing and what she's doing and what they're doing. Someone told me the other day, I was working out and I was talking about how people always be posting this on Instagram and all that. And he said, why do you always feel like you have to prove something? Why do you always feel like you have to be better than this person or that person or this person? And I looked in the mirror and I said, your competition isn't him or her. She can't determine anything you do. It's your life. So you gotta be willing to look in the mirror, accept your faults, and grow from your faults. Be willing to fail. Be willing to say what you did wrong when you failed, and then grow from it, because that's the only way you're gonna get better. You see people fail all the time and they get nothing but better. Millionaires go broke and they make all their money back learning what they did wrong. So don't be afraid to fail, but you have to be willing to accept your own faults to be great, because you have to be willing to work on yourself more than anything.
That's really good. And a tip for me would be, you got to love it so bad before you actually start, because part of the process is failing. So you have to love it so much that you're willing to fail. You have to almost be willing to fail, because no matter what, you are going to fail. There's never a success story that nothing bad happened. One of my biggest mentors, Gerard Adams, he had the life and then went broke. He went completely flat broke. He lost all his money. Now look at him. He's the millennial mentor. He's got Leaders Create Leaders. He's killing the game, inspiring so many people. But it's after he went broke. There's so many times where people broke down and had to come back. But they kept going because they loved it, that they are willing to die for it. So if you have a dream or a goal that you want to chase and you want to start today, right after this video, I'm telling you right now, you have got to be willing to die for it. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get it done. Because if you are not willing to die for it and you don't truly love it, when failure stares you in the face, you're gonna give up. And you're gonna lose everything you ever wanted. All right, let's get it done together and make it happen. How's that?